Namaste, I am GV Dr. ANUPAMA Goyal. I am working as Associate Professor in JYOTI VIDYAPEETH Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am delivering my video lecture on albugo, the fungus, which is useful for the students of graduate and postgraduate students studying in colleges and universities, and also the students which are studying in JYOTI VIDYAPEETH Women's University, Jaipur. So I am Dr. ANUPAMA Goyal, Associate Professor in Botany in JYOTI VIDYAPEETH Women's University, Jaipur. First of all, I will talk about the systematic position of albugo. So students, albugo is also known as cystopus. And now, what is the systematic position of albugo? Kingdom is Mycota. It has been placed in division U Mycota, and the subdivision is Mastigomycotina. Class is Oomycetes, and the order is Perinosporales. So now I talk about the occurrence of albugo. About 30 species of albugo are distributed in most parts of the world. They are obligate parasites occurring as endoparasites in the higher plants. They usually infect the members of the families Cruciferae, Convolvulaceae, Compositae and Amaranthacea. They infect Compositae and Amaranthacea. About 18 species of albugo have been reported from India. The common species are albugo candida, albugo portulaceae, albugo platensis, and albugo evolvuli So, albugo candida, which is also called as Cystopus candidus, is the most common species of the genus, and it is found as a parasite on the members of cruciferae like radish, turnip, cabbage, and mustard, and causes white rust or blisters of crucifers. So what is the disease which is caused by the fungus albugo? Albugo causes white rust of crucifers on the members of cruciferae. Now I talk about the vegetative structure of albugo. The mycelium of albugo is well branched, aseptate, and cenocytic. The hyphal wall is composed of chitin, and the cytoplasm is granular and contains many nuclei, vacuoles, oil globules, and glycogen. A system of unit membranes and tubules, lomasomes, develops from the plasma membrane towards the cytoplasm. The fungus albugo grows in intercellular spaces of the host tissue and absorbs the food material with the help of small knob-like structures called as haustoria. The haustorium is differentiated into a haustorial head and a slender neck-like stalk. In the haustorial head, the cytoplasm is dense and is packed with mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, and lipid inclusions, but the nuclei are absent. Now see, this is the vegetative structure of albugo. So this diagram A, what it shows, that it is the intercellular mycelium showing the knob-like haustorium. Here you can see in this diagram there is a fungal cell wall, and this is the haustorium having the lomasomes. And now what is the vegetative structure of the fungus? The base of the hostorium is surrounded by a collar-like sheet, which is the extension of the cell wall. Now this hostorium, as you see in the B diagram, is separated from the host plasma membrane by an encapsulation made up of extrahostorial matrix. Now next I talk about the reproduction in albugo. Well, albugo reproduces both by the asexual as well as the sexual means. So I talk about the asexual reproduction in albugo. Well, asexual reproduction in albugo takes place by means of multinucleate structures known as conidia, sporangia or zoosporangia. So how, students, the asexual reproduction occurs in albugo? It takes place by means of conidia or sporangia. These structures, conidia, sporangia, develop in long basipetal chains on short, erect, club-shaped structures called as conidiophores or sporangiophores. Now I talk about the formation of conidiophore. After establishing in the host tissue, the intercellular mycelium collects within the host epidermis. The tips of these hyphae develop into short, erect, thick-walled and club-shaped structures called conidiophores or sporangiophores. Now I talk about the formation of conidiophore. They develop as a palisade-like layer beneath the host epidermis and lie perpendicular to the host surface. The apical end of the conidiophore is multinucleate, thin-walled and densely cytoplasmic. Now I talk about the formation of conidia or sporangia or zoosporangia in albugo. So conidia or sporangia develop in long basipetal chains at the distal end of the conidiophore or sporangiophore. During the formation of the conidium, a deep constriction appears below the swollen distal end of the conidiophore, which gradually increases from periphery to the center. Ultimately, this constriction develops in the form of a transverse wall, and a small bud-like structure develops into a spherical multinucleate conidium or sporangium. So, how many nuclei are present in a conidium? There are usually a 5 to 8 nuclei which are found in the conidium of albugo. Now I talk about the formation of conidia. This process is repeated several times. And each time a conidium is formed on the conidiophore below the previously formed conidium. Thus, a chain of conidia is formed on each conidiophore. Now, conidia develop in basipetal succession. So, what do we understand by the term basipetal succession? It means the youngest conidium is at the base and the oldest conidium is at the top of the chain. An intercalary mucilaginous disc known as disjuncture develops in between the two successive conidia. Now, due to the pressure exerted by the developing conidial chains, host epidermis is raised and the host epidermis is ruptured. Conidia are now visible on the host surface as white powdery mass. So the disease caused by the fungus albugo is known as white rust of crucifers. So this is the diagram which shows the asexual reproduction in albugo. First, A diagram shows the hyphae of the albugo fungus. This is the vegetative hypha, and now what B diagram shows the vertical section of the infected leaf, and here in the B diagram you can see the conidiophore on which there are the chains of conidia. So the B diagram here shows the vertical section of the infected leaf, and in C to F diagrams you can see the stages in the formation of conidia. Here is the disjuncture in the F diagram, and the G diagram shows the conidium with cleaved protoplasm. You can see the conidium with the cleaved protoplasm, and in the I diagram you can see the flagellated zoospores. And now I talk about the germination of conidia. So conidia are smooth, hyaline, multinucleate and spherical or shortly ellipsoid cylindrical structures. Conidia are dispersed from the pustules by shrinking and drying of the disjuncture. Conidia are blown away by the wind or washed away by rain splash. Conidia germinate after 2 to 3 hours of their dispersal on a suitable substratum under moist condition and low temperature. So what is the temperature? Temperature is around 10 degrees centigrade, which is suitable for the germination of the conidium in the fungus albugo. The multinucleate protoplast of the conidium divides into a number of uninucleate segments. Each segment metamorphoses into a reniform biflagellate zoospore. Usually 8 zoospores are formed per sporangium or conidium. Now I talk about the symptoms of conidia, symptoms of white rust of crucifers. Symptoms are the fungus albugo, mainly the aerial parts, infects mainly the aerial parts of the plant such as petioles, leaves, stems, flowers and fruits. Now see, the early symptoms of the disease is the formation of rust-like, white, shiny, irregular pustules which appear on the lower surface of the leaves, which may also spread on the upper surface of the leaves and stems. In the later stages, several pustules coalesce to form large, irregular erupted pustules. The host epidermis is ruptured and white powdery mass comes out. The infected parts of the host become abnormal, and the abnormality may be in the form of hypertrophy, fleshiness or distortion. The infected leaves become thick and fleshy, and the stem is malformed. The floral parts are also malformed. The sepals, petals, stamens and carpels are converted into thick, fleshy structures. So These are the symptoms which are caused by the albugo fungus. Now I talk about the sexual reproduction of the albugo. Well, in albugo, the sexual reproduction is of highly oogamous type, and this I will talk in the next class. Thank you for hearing my lecture.